Hey you! Hear about the super rad fighting game that's sweeping Cleveland, Ohio? Well, I'm about to give you an exclusive first look before it takes over the country. Come on! This is Street Fighter CLE, a state-of-the-art game featuring the most elite warriors in the world. With gameplay that packs a punch and special features that...
It's a quarterback competition, ain't it? I swear it was a quarterback competition. Why is there only one QB being shown here? Let me dub that back.
Is Street Fighter CLE, a state-of-the-art game featuring the most elite warriors in the world. With gameplay that packs a punch and special features that'll blow your mind. Stay on your toes to fend off your opponent's special moves.
Fight! They got Denzel going crazy.
He's going turbo mode! He's untouchable! Add insult to injury with the victory quotes. And if you've got good enough timing, you might just score a perfect victory.
I know I'm not tripping. Run it back.
Add insult to injury with the victory quotes. And if you've got good enough timing, you might just score a perfect victory. And listen to how crisp those sound effects are.
Bing bong.
Bing bong. Bing bong. And when you win, strike a pose that really rocks. Whoa! It's so lifelike! Looking for more challenges? Try a bonus stage.
No, Myles Garrett got a theme for whooping on Steelers, man.
Each character has their own unique fighting stage. And check this out. The stage selection is so realistic. Maybe too realistic, if that's even possible, which it's not.
Oh, but that was my last quarter.
It's the bye week. It does that once a year.
Oh, my quarterback.
Sorry. Shador's off this week.
Who's off this week? I thought it was a competition. Who's off this week?
It's not.
Oh, but that was my last quarter.
It's the bye week. It does that once a year.
Oh, my quarterback.
Sorry. Shador's off this week. But the fun doesn't have to end if you don't want it to. You can hit continue at any time you want. Whoa! You're not gonna believe the gnarly special moves these fighters have. It looks like he's about to break a record.
That's out of pocket.
It's not all fighting.
That's an out of pocket
There's a gripping
finisher.
story here too. The immersive crowd noise makes it feel like you're really there.
Ah, this place is a dump. Yeah, is that a shoe?
And just when you thought you'd seen it all, boom! Another bonus stage! These graphics are totally tubular! They're gonna blow your mind! Surprise! Another bonus stage! After seeing all the awesome features that Street Fighter CLE has to offer, what are you waiting for? You're gonna love it, and that's no theory. Try it out today! Yeah!
There you have it, man. So, back in here, family. You already know what's going on, man. We back to it. First and foremost, we already understand G Bush broke the internet, man. We already know G Bush went crazy with the one-on-one exclusive with Prime. Then he dubbed back with Big Snacks, had his own interview, and kind of broke down a little bit of what was going on. Now, we not going to steal their talking points or what they was going over. We coming at it with a whole different angle. What does this mean? So G Bush having this interview, this signals a changing of the guard in Cleveland. This is a big time thing in Cleveland. I just want you to understand. We're used to this old, stale, disgusting media as we're about to watch and witness because they're still trying to hang on by a thread. But it's over with. G Bush shut it down, and what that did is that put him now at the point where he can deny it all he wants to, but he's the head of the Cleveland media. He just dropped the elite sources. We talking about Mary Kay having sources and people in the building and all these other things. G Bush just put down his credibility and said, now, let's match up source for source. And they're not going to do that because they don't have the angle or the inside availability to do so. Now, when we move forward and we start looking at other things as far as this so-called quarterback competition, which all the Browns imaging and all their, social media teams and everything they're promoting is Shador. They haven't promoted Deshaun Watson. They haven't promoted anybody. Not Gabriel, not Green, none of these guys. Okay? So when you look at that, that's telling me Shador is the guy. They just don't want to throw it out there yet and cause a big kaboom because all the media is going to do is go crazy. Oh, it wasn't a competition. Oh, they should have did this. They should have did that. It was because Monken talked to Dion. It's all coming. Guaranteed. It's all coming. But let's go ahead and dive in and see how they're scrambling now for narratives. The narrative is Watson, and they're still trying to hold on to that and push it. But everything that's we're seeing as far as with the team, what Coach Monken has been saying, what the social media, what the Browns are putting out from their own facility, the Browns themselves, is that Shador's the guy. Let's go ahead and tap in, man. First guys we're going to see, we got to tap in with 92.3 The Fan. Them guys, man, Lima, and that boy King Carmen. Shout out to 92.3 The Fan, though.
Even though he's an insider, so I think he'd probably be on the list anyway, like list emeritus. List of people who we seriously take on who should start for the Cleveland Browns. But this isn't a opinion by him. More on the Cavs coming up here in about 20-25 minutes. So we have, the list goes real quick. We're going to need to put some music under the list or something like that at some point. But, I don't want to.
We'll get a list music thing.
I'm not trying to be a maestro over here while we're in the middle of it. So here we go.
Just do the read.
Number 1, fans, callers. Number 2, all Cleveland sports media we included. That includes Fanta. Well, I just saw a video of him at the airport because that's where he's basically at his entire life now, is the airport. Mary Kay, Jason Lloyd, Bernie, Joe, John Greco, Kirk Herbstreit, Albert Breer's an insider too. Should I take him off the list?
I thought we were just kind of taking him.
Listen, man. Why ain't you mentioning the guy that just got the interview? Why ain't you mentioning G. Bush? Why ain't you throwing G. Bush his flowers right now? Because you a hater. But anyways, let him keep cooking because it's nasty work.
Tory over what everybody thought.
Emery Hunt, Kuiper, Trey Wingo, Stink, Jarvis, Odell, Joe Hayden, Josh Cribbs, Tom Brady, Cody Kessler, Baker Mayfield, Brian Hoyer, Dan Orlovsky. I put Fanta again on the list. The big question was whether...
Why are we worried about how many people's opinions we're going to have about the Browns quarterback? The opinion that matters is Coach Monken. We going to worry about what the coach got to say. The coach going to put out who he want to put out. So worrying about whatever person thinks that you might know that you think has credibility, it has no bearing on the situation. There's no room for it. There's really no reason to be talking about it other than you're trying to find another angle to dive at this thing at. Because you have no angle to come at it from now. So now you just spitballing, throwing stuff in the air. Goofiness out of the Cleveland media. You guys get paid too much to do this. This is foolishness, tomfoolery.
They're not Johnny Manziel was. Jeremy Fowler was on Sports Illustrated, Sports Center the other day. Chris Mannix from Sports Illustrated will join us this morning at 9 o'clock. We'll talk Cavs with him. He was on Sports Center the other day, and he reported that going into OTAs, it would seem that Deshaun Watson has the leg up, apparently, of the QB job, which 2 prevailing thoughts came out. One, he's just regurgitating what he heard Mary Kay already previously state because he has no inside sources himself.
Water experience.
Why is Deshaun Watson still the leader in the clubhouse to be the quarterback of the Browns? And people are upset with that because they're upset with that. Not a lot of Browns fans do want to see him play. Number 2, the whole leak fact.
Nobody's really upset with Deshaun Watson being the leader if he's the true leader. If they came out and he's just honestly better than Shador at football, nobody's really upset about that. What we're upset about is you guys just saying that because you don't want Shador to play. So you guys just coming up with the narrative and continuing to spew the narrative over and over and over again so that we start to believe that it's true. It's ridiculous, ain't it? Yeah. You hearing? That's how I feel too. Y'all are terrible.
That comes into this going, where are we getting leaks? Why is he saying this? Why is Breer saying these things? Where are these leaks coming from? I thought Todd Monken was supposed to get rid of the leaks. And I go, to that, can I just say something to that real quick?
When people would expect Todd Monken, the free-flowing, with as much as he is as honest as possible, you'd expect less leaks from Todd Monken?
I don't even think it's that. If we're talking about leaks anymore, I don't know if leaks are coming from inside the building. I think that the leaks Like, there's definitely, because it's an open.
There's no leaks coming from inside the building. The leaks are coming from media members such as yourselves. You two talking, you two buffoons sitting here talking, are where leaks come from. People like you, Albert Breer, Mary Kay, Tony Grossi, all you guys that sit up and spitball because you have no inside information anymore because your boy Kev is gone. Kev with the info is up out of here when he was dropping dimes to y'all on the slick tip. Now he up through and you ain't got nothing to talk about. So now let's go ahead and figure out something to talk about at this point. Is what you're trying to do. It ain't working. We're not falling for it.
QB room. If you talk to the right people at the right time, there's definitely people who want Deshaun Watson and think Deshaun Watson's the leader, and there's definitely people who like Shedeur and think Shedor's the leader. There's a lot of people in a building. So everybody has an opinion. Depending on who you talk to, you can say, I talked to somebody in the building. Well, if I walk in the building and then you talk to me, someone in the building told me that Shedeur is looking real good. Yeah, it's me. It's Kenny Carmen. I told you that Shedeur looks really good. Like, so that's a weird rule. But let's be serious here. Agents matter.
Did he just break down their secrets? Ken Carmen really just leaked what they do as far as how they heard information from inside the building. He just told you without really telling you. But if you were smart enough to pick it up, he just told you how the Cleveland media moves. Listen to this.
Real good. Yeah, it's me. It's Kenny Carmen. Depending on who you talk to, you can say, I talked to somebody in the building. Well, if I walk in the building and then you talk to me, someone in the building told me that Shedeur is looking real good. Yeah, it's me. It's Kenny Carmen. I told you that Shedeur looks really good. Like, so that's a weird rule. But let's be serious here.
Boy, if he didn't just tell you how that worked. So if Anthony Lima walks into the building and then he's talking to, let's just say, Daryl Ryder, and they're at training camp and they've watched something and then they've talked about something, and then they hear Grossi whispering to Mary Kay about something that they might not even have been part of the conversation in on, then they go back to the radio the next day and say, hey, I'm hearing from people in the building that such and such is the leader in the clubhouse. They're doing... Man, y'all fool, bro. Y'all fool for that.
Agents matter. People around people matter. And you know as well as I know that there's definitely people around Deshaun Watson who like to speak to people. And it wouldn't surprise me none. Wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. And why wouldn't he want something like that out there?
Oh, you're saying that Watson's camp is orchestrating this?
No.
Well, what are you saying?
That's not
then?
what I said. I said you cannot. You always do this, and it pisses me off to an obscene level.
We all heard.
I'm not gonna lie, it pisses me off too, because he's trying to, just make what he just said so, plain day and ignorant. What he's saying is that there's anybody that can be telling, whether that's Deshaun Watson's agent, whether that's somebody that's close to Deshaun, whether that's somebody that's close to Dylan Gabriel, whether that's somebody that's close to the coach, if they have something that they might want to say, aka the same way that Kevin Stefanski said, whether that's an agent, people's media teams, it doesn't have to be a coach or Munkin or somebody in the inner building. It can be one of the players' representatives, somebody that they do business with, somebody that, they might have money tied in a separate investment over here where they both do work on this platform. So now they have this connection and link. So, hey, look, scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. I'm going to look out for you in this way, but throw this bone out here for me when you write this next story and say that my guy is doing this thing out here. Simple as that. But he wants to try and make it a goofy, weird conversation. Look at his goofy face. Look at that, bro. Like, that's a smackable face. I'm not going to lie. That's a real bitch smackable face. Like, I could really, that's one of them type of faces. Look at the face he making right there, bro. Tell me that's not punchable as hell, bro.
We all heard what you just said.
I said you have to factor in all things, and it's not just the building. Todd Monken isn't secretly calling up Jeremy Fowler going, hey, I just want to let you know that Deshaun Watson's the leader in the club. I'm not saying that, but I think it's crazy that there was a time in 2011 where we thought everything was coming out of buildings, and I just think now in 2026 you have to look at agents, you have to look at business managers, you have to look at business partners, and you can't just look inside the building. That's what I'm saying.
Is that not what I just said? Is that not what I just said?
And you know as well as I know that there's people around all the quarterbacks, including Deshaun Watson, who love to talk to the media, love to talk to insiders quietly. That's what I'm saying. For the love of God, he's orchestrating. You know what you're saying when you use the term orchestrating. Don't bog me down.
I don't know.
Don't do that.
People can rewind it and tell me that.
look at him and listen to how he trying to attack it, because he doesn't want this information to be privy to the public. He don't want you to understand this is how they move. Ken Carmen being open and honest and saying, hey, this is what was really going on. We not getting real information anymore. We do not have people inside the building telling us anything. So anybody talking about they're getting information from inside the building is cap, it's trim, it's cut. That's not happening. That's what Ken Carmen is telling you right now. But Anthony Lima, he doesn't want you to know that. He doesn't want it to be that way. He wants to feel like his opinion really holds weight with the Browns. He can talk to someone, he can talk to Albert Breer and take that as cash value and take it to Wells Fargo and lock in. Because that's exactly what it is, because Albert Breer is an insider, or Daryl Ryder's an insider, or Mary Kay has a tenure of 20 years and she's well respected and won the Nunn Award and such. Man, stop it. Stop it. Let's just keep the facts, bruh.
Did I say the word?
I'm the one that's crazy.
If
here.
I wanted to say the term orchestrate, you know what you're doing. You know you're triggering me. If I wanted to say the word orchestrate, I'll say the effing word orchestrate. Orchestrate has a meaning behind it, and you know it does. So don't even start with me on that. So let's continue the conversation, shall we?
Had him sick. Had him sick, though. I'm not gonna lie. Did you see how he changed up? Did you see how my boy's whole mannerism switched up? Face got real tight and serious when Ken got on him a little bit. When Ken started getting on him and really giving him that business as far as what he was talking about. You see how that switch up happens? Let's peep that and run it back.
Orchestrate. Did I say the word?
Watch the switch up.
If I wanted to say the term orchestrate, you know what you're doing. You know you're triggering me. If I wanted to say the word orchestrate, I'll say the effing word orchestrate. Orchestrate has a meaning behind it, and you know it does. So don't even start with me on that.
Look at the switch
So let's continue the conversation, shall we?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, fine. Fine.
What to me is pretty clear here.
What
does seem to be, and maybe it's for a managing of the expectations so that they don't get killed when it's Deshaun Watson, as the starting quarterback, which I've tried to make the case. I think that actually could be not the worst thing in the world for Shedeur. Like, I actually think him being able to sit there and watch properly as opposed to last year, which was you're the fourth stringer and everybody else gets these reps ahead of you. Like, actually,
Ken's not even having that. And this is one of the guys that really supports you when you say a lot of nonsense, Lima. So Ken is over here. He's shaking his papers. He got his head aside like this guy just won't stop with this stuff. It's worn out. It's tired out, bro. It's over with.
just being the backup and letting things play out. How do we think things are going to play out?
I could see that way. I can see that way with common sense, but I don't think us in the media will allow it. I think we'll start saying crazy things.
Yeah, I mean, but what does it matter what the media says compared to what actually is transpiring?
Well, it seems to be that we have all the power in the world compared to, according to some folks.
Now the media doesn't matter, man. What is it, Lima? Do you guys have weight and know what's going on, or do you guys not matter? Stop the cap, man. So when you listen to these guys, you just got to pick through what they're talking about, because they throw a lot of big words out there and they throw a lot of stuff out there to try and distract you from what's actually going on. But when you think about it and you break it down and you really take a look at what these guys are saying, they're saying a whole lot of nothing. They don't have sources anymore. So all they're doing is just airing stuff at the wall. The same way me and you, anybody watching, can have a conversation about what's going on with the Browns right now. That's all they're doing. They just have a stage to do so. There's no difference between them and me talking right now, or them and Big Snacks talking, or them and Teens talking, or them and K-Sap and them talking. There's no difference. These cats do not know anything that's going on. They don't have the info anymore. Let's go ahead and see what Grossy and them was talking about. Do Grossy got anything different to say, or is he switching up his tune, or he keeping that little same anybody but Shedeur mentality that they all got? Let's see what's going on with Grossy and them, man.
Browns OTAs. We're not out there till tomorrow once a week, but the organized team activities are happening. What do you make of, we're now into phase 3 officially, it's another step in the off season.
Like the home stretch of I call it the spring season when they get on the field. The first of 10 OTA practices over the next 3 weeks, 3, and 4. Sometimes the coach eliminates that 10th practice at the end. And then that goes into a mandatory minicamp, June 9th, 10th, 11th. And then that's it. Then it's everybody on summer break. So this has really come up quick. But really, this is the period of time where the coach, particularly now a first-year coach like Todd Monken, sets things in place the way he wants training camp to start in July. Okay, so how you leave it in June is how you. So if he's making if the coaches over the course of the off-season program have lineup changes in mind.
Hearing a whole bunch of nothing. All he's saying is basically the coaches are taking a look at whatever happens right now as far as how they see the depth chart lining up is what they're going to go into after they come back after this little 6-week break, and that's how they're going to start it off and continue evaluations from there. There ain't nothing more to say, and there ain't no other eloquent way you can put it, Tony. Quit that rambling on and on for nonsense, bro. Just say they still evaluating, and whatever they have as their little so-called depth chart at this point, at this point in the season, I should say, in the off season, then that's what we're gonna roll with when we come back after our 6 weeks off. Why would we change anything coming back? Yeah, we're gonna rock what we were rocking with, and then from there we'll continue to evaluate and make changes as we see fit. How hard is that to say, Tony? Spit it out.
Or position changes. This is when they'll incorporate them, so that when we get to training camp, that's where that player starts.
So Tony, the players are back on the field today. There's some roster movements I want to talk about before we get to there's quarterback news. It's Cleveland, it's the Browns. There's always quarterback news, but there's quarterback news today. Real quick, I want to shout out our guy, Aaron Anderson, wide receiver, got signed today by the Browns, along with...
Now, if you don't know who Aaron Anderson is, you might want to do some history and do some homework. That's a low-key, sneaky signing. That is a low-key, sneaky signing that I'm very proud of the Browns making. This guy is a pretty speedy wide receiver, another kind of slot gadget guy in the Isaiah Bond type of mode, but this guy got a high motor, and he does got some get up and go to him. When he get the ball in space, he has some yak availability, similarly to KC Concepcion in senses of how he can get the ball and make moves in space. I don't think he's as big as KC. He might not be as fast as KC, but this dude is a little lightning in the bottle, and he might be able to, catch fire. This is something that's sneaky. I think it might benefit the Browns. Also might add something in the return game. You put him and KC back there on kickoffs, that might get dangerous.
Reed Carrico and D-end Marquise Watts. But Tony, to us, Aaron Anderson, really, me and you both noticed him at the rookie minicamp, so this is kind of cool that he's getting officially added to the 90-man.
We dubbed him the rookie minicamp player of the week.
Yeah.
Yep. He was invited. He wasn't even an undrafted signee. He was one of the 25 invitees, and he's the only one on that tryout who was offered a contract. And so he was signed today. And you're right, he stood out. He's under 6-footer, LSU receiver, and it seemed no matter what period they were in, he was either being targeted or making catches.
Yeah, definitely. It really cool to see. All right, Tony, we're out there tomorrow, so we are going to see what the quarterback order is, who's taking reps, what they're doing. Today, there's a lot of QB news. Let's start with Jeremy Fowler. He came out with a story that has sourced reporting from people close to Deshaun Watson. The title of the article is, I just want to get it right, Why Browns Are Giving Deshaun Watson Another Chance to Be QB1. Kind of goes through the whole history and everything.
Okay, that's not Browns news. If you heard what Chop so eloquently just stated for us, the article came from sources close to Watson, a.k.a. an agent, his trainer, somebody that he worked with in the past, a previous coach, somebody that he still maintains a relationship with, that also still has a relationship with Jeremy Fowler, or whoever wrote the article. I believe it was Fowler. So, put those together, and this is an article that comes from that camp. This is not coming from inside source. This is not coming from Todd Monken in the quarterback room, the quarterback coach, to anybody that got anything to do with the actual depth chart. So, let them continue, but I want you to understand, this is not news. This is just something that, hey, look, my guy, they're giving him a chance. It's a quarterback competition. Everybody got a chance. Yeah, they're giving him a second chance. He's going to get his preseason rep so he can get film to put out. He's going to get his chance to get on another team or to do something. But to sit here and act like that's just making him the quarterback one because somebody in his camp, somebody that he works out with or they watch him work out is telling you that he's getting a chance, that makes you... these guys.
It references Johnson's interview that was on ESPN Cleveland a few weeks ago, where he unprompted.
Mind you, this is a day after G. Bush's massive interview. Where did G. Bush interview? We mentioned in G. Bush and his sources. We mentioned in Jeremy Fowler talking to Deshaun Watson sources. Not even Deshaun Watson himself. Come on, bro. The hate is crazy.
Brought up Deshaun Watson, but Tony, in the article, there's quotes like, he understands why the fans are frustrated. That's a source close to Deshaun Watson, and stuff like, the source said that sitting out last season was the best thing that could have happened to him being Deshaun Watson. What do you make of a story like this coming out right as OTAs are beginning, sort of reinforcing the possibility, at least, that Deshaun Watson could be the Browns quarterback one?
Anybody who follows us and our program and our radio programs and our YouTube programs, this story would not be a surprise to them. That there's a very real possibility that Deshaun Watson is going to get a great opportunity to play, probably start this year. Okay, I think Cleveland Browns fans locally know that.
Yeah.
Nationally, people still can't believe it. Well, I thought the owner said we swung and missed on that. Why are they bringing him back after all this time, playing only 19 games out of a possible, 68 or whatever it is?
Yeah.
I think this is an attempt by the Browns, or
I started a business.
It's an attempt by the Browns just to rebrand Deshaun Watson so that he's marketable for a possible trade. Maybe a late round pick, work something out player for player. That's all they're doing, is rebranding him and getting him marketable to be able to try and get something for him.
yeah, by the Browns to start conditioning people that this is a very real thing that could be happening here. That Deshaun Watson could pull a Lazarus and rise from the dead and be the starting quarterback for the Browns, or at least compete for the starting quarterback. I think people
ain't no at least compete. He's gonna compete. They're in a quarterback competition. It's been stated multiple times. You're talking hot air, bro. And then going back to the point of sitting out the whole season was the best thing he could have happened. Yeah, he tore his Achilles twice. The hell are you talking about? Of course, sitting out a season, that was his only option. So yeah, that was the best thing that could have happened to him. He gets time to rehab, get himself back together, and all that. I mean, that's a non-factor, bro. You said that like that was some bright idea. Get out of here.
people in town have accepted that fact. I think nationally, people still can't believe it. And this might be the first attempt at getting national people acclimated to what's really happening here.
And do you think that's important? Because we know Shedeur Sanders, the other quarterback in this competition, or one of the other quarterbacks in this, has such a national big following that comes from everywhere. We know it's Colorado fans, and we love them. You know, a lot of them watch this program. You may not think so, but we love you. So do you think that's...
You hear them? They don't know how to deal with the aunties, but they don't know how to deal with y'all in them comments. I can't lie.
Part of it is, hey,
sure.
This national reporting leads credence to, hey, this actually could happen.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, listen, Shedeur is one of the most immensely popular athletes who I've ever seen come to town.
For sure.
All right. Mm-hmm. It's incredible. And it goes beyond Cleveland Browns fans. The whole Colorado contingent is following the Cleveland Browns because of him. Mm-hmm. And maybe they can't understand why this is happening. And I think it'll all play out on the field. But, you know, a year ago, Watson was cleared to practice for 3 weeks in December. And there was no chance of him playing at a certain point. But he proved in those 3 weeks that, my gosh, he might be able to give us something next year. And so here we are at next year. You got a new coach who remembers Watson beating his former team in one of his last performances. And all the new coach is looking at is who's the best guy that gives us a chance to win.
What do you make of another quote, another sourced quote in this article talks about how Deshaun Watson's more set up to be fit with the Todd Monken offense. It wasn't really a fit with Kevin Stefanski. Hearing that, what do you make of that? Because
what do we make of that? You can't make anything out of it, because the same thing could be said for Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders could definitely be a better fit for a Monken style offense rather than a Stefanski offense. The only people that are good fits for Stefanski offense is players like Kirk Cousins, players like Dylan Gabriel, if they was good. You know, people like that play on timing as like pocket passer. We just gonna stand there, 1-2, the ball is out. Tua Tagovailoa. That's why they got him in Atlanta. Literally, that's his kind of passer. So if you're not that, you don't fit into Kevin Stefanski's offense. Anybody's gonna fit better into Todd Monken's offense. We discussed this multiple times because Todd Monken has the availability to change his approach. He's very versatile with what he can do with the offense in terms of identifying personnel strengths and weaknesses. So if my offensive line is weak in this area but they're stronger in this area, okay, we might be able to do a little bit more power scheme. We might be able to do a little bit more of the zone scheme, things like that. We might be able to slide protections and not have to chip. But if we have a weak offensive line, we might have to bring tight ends and use 22 personnel and chip and do different motion things to get the D-line offset. Todd Monken has the availability to do that, in which Kevin Stefanski never showed that availability to make those adjustments on the fly due to personnel or what the defense was giving them. So that's just what that is. I mean, honestly, these guys are just throwing stuff up in the air, man, and we can see that, and we honestly know that, man. Let these boys go ahead and cook, man. Don't pay them no mind. We're going to let it play out on the field like they said, man. Let it go ahead and play out on that. Now, y'all let me know below what you think. Is Shedeur going to win the quarterback competition? Does he have a chance, or is Deshaun Watson the clear leader? It's over with Deshaun Watson starting week 1, and we got to wait for something to happen for Shedeur to get to it. Let me know below.
Larry.
I got it. Larry.
Tool turned up. Quarterback and quick pay. Disposal tossing G's. Going through my wristband. I'm Shedeur the P. Music hit like quick crack. Ain't no snoring me. A nigga stole. Got my leg back by doing more with me. Ain't never